Bounty Hunters. Life on the blockchain.
Life on the blockchain. Welcome back to Bounty Hunters. We are back for a new episode full of juicy bug finding material with incredible guests. But first, we got to give the good shout out to our sponsor, Recon. Get recon.xyz/riptide. You can get some high quality solidity audits powered by invariant testing with these guys. So having worked with leading projects such as Centrifuge, Liquidity, and Badger, they also have a ton of useful resources for bounty hunters and protocol devs. Again, recon.xyz/riptide will give you $5,000 off. First-time customers for an invariant testing engagement. So basically using fuzzing without all the pain that goes with it. Nice, gooey, easy to use with big critical bugs, hopefully, as a result. All right. And our guest today is Mr. bytes032. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you saying 032. The zero is like important.
It's very important. And may I ask, are you part of the Bulgarian mafia?
Yes, I am. Like actually, the 032 is a lot of people are like it's just the variable bytes032, but actually 032 is like the zip code of my hometown.
Ah, I see. Interesting. 032.
Yep.
See, I don't miss one detail. So give me any feedback here, but I want to say Dobre doshli v Shoutout. Is that very bad? Hopefully that was welcome to the show.
Yeah, I mean, kinda. You got it.
I tried.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for coming on, man. And I don't even know how to classify Mr. Bytes here because we kind of transitioned from doing bug hunters to doing some auditors to get their takes. And I mean, I guess would you classify yourself as an auditor primarily?
Yeah, I mean, I used to sell audits a lot of the time today. So I wouldn't say doing audits that much that I have been doing before. But yeah, I guess I'm kind of a mix is the best way to phrase it actually.
Oh, good. Well, maybe give us a little background for some people that have no idea who you are. And I'll just post a couple quick things here. So I met Bytes, I don't even know, somewhere on X, and I noticed you were an incredibly ambitious guy, and you were talking about how it was hard to get for people to connect with auditors, and you created this Telegram channel and webpage. I think it's called Find Audit, where you could just connect people, like direct protocols to auditors and connect people with jobs and connect people with security researchers. And I love seeing that kind of ambition. So that was where I first saw you, but please, give everyone an intro, kind of how you got here.
I've got here late 2023, I think, something like this. I was a developer before that. Started doing solo audits primarily. Then I created a collective, like with a few friends, auditors as well. We did, I think, maybe 60 audits or 70, something like that. That was around the time when I also created Find Audit, like the platform that you mentioned. That is unfortunately dead right now, but just took too much of my time. And nowadays, I'm helping run Zenet, which is an audit firm.
I saw that, and you have, it looks like the top tier guys over there.
Yeah, I mean, we have plenty of good guys. I'm very hesitant to always say like top tier because that's subjective, but we have really good guys.
Yeah, that's interesting. It is kind of subjective, but I think we can agree on guys that bring results and guys that don't too, and guys that love doing audits and guys that just aren't cut out for it.
Yeah, just my main concern when some people perceive top guys is like based on name brand, and like I found that a little bit more little known guys have been delivering like insane results. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not always the guys with the biggest profile. People think that, guys big on the leaderboard or posts a big bug, like he's the best. Dude, no one's the best, man. I got to say, there's guys that are good and there's guys that are bad sometimes, but then there's these other guys, and I think these are the ones you're talking about, the guys that are just consistent and just do a really good job each time.
I've been humbled plenty of times. Like, I can't even count the times that I've been humbled like brutally by guys like this. So I think it's fair to say like the consistent guys that do a good job through like a big timeline, say a year, or all the time without downs, mostly ups. I would say they're like the top guys actually.
Yeah, and the guys that can balance it without burning out too is pretty impressive. Like just watching some people arc up and then you don't really hear from them again. But I mean, if you've got a significant payday, hey, I get it. But still, some of the guys that just keep grinding, I just like, shout out to Dead Roses, right? This guy just got another 100K critical, it looks like. But this guy humbled me in one of the competitions I did, Wildcat. And he just found all kinds of shit. And I'm like, damn, man, this guy is he's just a go-getter, man. Just very consistent, very good. So guys like that, if I ran an audit firm, those are the dudes I'd want.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm not in the Bulgarian audit firm business. What's going on over there?
How
come everyone's launching an audit firm?
I think it was a meta after after SO audits. I think a lot of people started like doing SO audits, and then a few guys started teaming up, and that's when like a lot of the Bulgarians actually started launching firms. That was actually a pattern that was visible throughout the whole space, I think. But just like a lot of the Bulgarian guys are like vocal on Twitter. So like crypto Twitter, get it, like it's mostly Bulgarians. But like, yeah, I think everybody that has started early has been doing like quite well. The people that have been consistent with business as well. So nothing surprising, I would say. I don't know how much context you have as well, so I'm trying to be, to start from the back.
No, I mean, the context I have is crypto Twitter context where, Pashov, I saw him grow from, just a guy starting out, reply guy, to now he's got his own firm. Looks like he's doing really well. I see you. I see, I think there was another Bulgarian name, but I think you guys are more active on Twitter than say other groups.
Actually, I'm not sure if I'm even active anymore. I don't even post that much. I found myself, just struggle, because I can't be shit posting when I represent a brand, a company, and people working with me, and I have plenty of spicy takes. So I'm like, let's just not post that much.
Yeah. You have to adjust, I guess, a bit when you have some. Yeah, that's true.
What about you, man? I mean, you start. How I know you and like where I know you from is like I've sought out Arbitrum, bug bounty, write up, and I was like, yeah, this guy like kind of killed it. And then I was like, such a shame that they didn't pay the full bounty. And then
that's what everyone says. I know, but it's all good. It's all good. I'll tell you why. And I
saw the airdrop.
That was a fake airdrop. You remember that shit?
Yeah.
It's Spect Element. No, let me tell you why it was actually good. Because I met a guy. I met the Coon, right? The guy who got $2 million from Polygon for finding that great bug. Actually, it's the bug that Certic found, I think, as well. And this guy found it. He got $2 million, went and retired on a beach. And I talked with him in person. We were chatting, and he said the same thing. I was ashamed he didn't get paid out, and I was yeah, fuck. But once you've been in crypto a long time, you have ups and downs. you leverage up, maybe you lose some money, this and that. Your numbers go up, numbers go down. And what I realized is when you hit a certain number, whatever that is for you, where life is very comfortable and things seem free, you kind of lose that drive. At least I did. And you lose that motivation to kind of continue pushing forward. And so if I would have gotten paid out all the way on Arbitrum, which was a couple million, maybe the same thing would happen to me. Maybe I don't look at it as a negative. I look at it as like, well, hey, that's cool. This just pushes me to continue to grind and kind of stay in the space, do what I like to, and it's interesting for me. So, I don't take it as a negative.
I appreciate to see like people being optimistic. I just, maybe my last post was about that, being positive, being optimistic about it, not trying to, delve in the negative. I like to see you be that way. And I think that's the right way to go about it. You can either go like
who hangs out with a pessimist all the time?
No one. Yeah. That's point number one. And like, I think there's two pieces. Nobody hangs out with them, but like there's like that circle jerk, social media thing that is mostly about pessimists and like, I don't want to say haters because that's not exactly it, but people that just like cheer on seeing other people kind of down, right? For example, the guys that say that so you didn't get paid, and they're like, oh, that he deserves that.
Yeah. Or it's guys that they get into a group, they start shorting assets. Dude, I'll never short. That's a pessimistic view. I just can't do it.
Yeah,
I just can't, man. I'm an eternal optimist. I think every day you wake up is choose your own adventure, and you can make it whatever you want to do. And you had this great quote, man. I looked on your Twitter feed, and you had this fantastic quote, and you said, "Do what everyone does, get what everyone gets." What a fucking line. Because that is so true in so many ways. In investing, especially in education, yes. Work, yes. Everything I could think of. If you want to follow the same trodden path, you know what you're going to get. And it's not going to be that spectacular.
Absolutely. And how it's funny because you mentioned Dead Roses, and that quote is actually something that I read something along the lines from him. I think I recall. So just giving you the war, right? Where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm. I like that, man.
It's absolutely true.
And this is the space for that too. Just everyone could do whatever they want.
Yeah. And just to circle back to what I just said, like every day is a blessing, and like if you just focus on stuff that's not like mostly bad. I like to say, let me just pick the right words to translate from Bulgarian. Some people don't even get that right. Some people won't even get to find a book in Arbitrum. Some people won't get to work what we're doing. Some people won't even live any of that. So I think we're doing quite well.
I have no complaints. I'm happy to be here every day. I'm happy to have a podcast where I talk to other dudes with my same interests about our shared interests and just be free to do it. And we could podcast this out here and people could listen, and some people will sponsor me. Some people will hate it. I don't care. I'm putting it out here, and it is what it is, but this is what it is, and it's cool.
Yeah. I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, shoot.
That is actually even about book bounty or like book finding. I recall you were traveling a lot. How did that impact you, like your focus?
So it was crazy. It was crazy. I traveled. So people don't know, I was living in Miami, and we went through some stuff, right? And I had to. So we're gonna move. We're gonna move to the country, and so we go and buy this house. And I get to the new house, and we're about to move in, and I'm towing all the stuff, and then the bank the day before I'm supposed to boom in, it says, "Hey, the loan's canceled," and they rugged me completely. And so I didn't have a backup plan, and so I just said, "Well, what are we going to do?" Like all of our stuff was in storage, and we just said, "Well, let's just go travel the world." So I took my wife, 2 kids, and we just took off to Turkey, and we started this round the world trip. And I traveled basically Airbnbs, hotels with everyone for a year. We stay a month in one place, a month in the next place, and I just worked on my laptop the whole time, a little 13-inch Dell XPS, and I found more bugs traveling and doing that, and just going to coffee shops, on planes, than I have. I think, like the consistency was there, and it was incredible consistency. It was 2, 3 a month, decent bugs, and I haven't had that consistency since. So I don't know why I was so locked in. Maybe because I didn't have a house at that point. We were just in travel mode, or maybe it was this small screen that made you focus, or something else. But it actually was a huge benefit rather than a hindrance.
Right. Just to tell you, like why I'm asking that, a lot of people are like giving different recipes for focusing, or like making it whatever. And I recall there was a post or something in Twitter or X, and maybe it was my post, whatever, and it was something about focus, etc. And you were like, no, it's a skill issue. And that's when I just had the context, like you've been traveling and stuff like that. So just wanted to wrap up that one, at least for me.
You quote my shit posts.
Yeah.
Shit. I don't know. I think it's one, the incentive is there for money. That's great. But we both know you can't do it unless there's curiosity, like you want to do it. Or else, if you don't have that drive, you go down the despair hole into nothing, and you'll just give up.
Yeah. Do you feel like there are more people getting into the space than before? Like, is the same amount of people?
As far as bounty hunters?
Yeah.
Honestly, I have no idea. I don't know what anyone's doing. I don't know if there's voices on Twitter that are new. I just don't pay attention to it. And there's so many contracts out there. It seems like there's more audit firms coming up. Those are the only ones I notice. I'm sure there's solo auditors out there that they're growing in numbers, because anyone can pick it up after a while and be pretty good at it. I don't know. What do you think?
Maybe because I was more vocal in Twitter before, or like more active opening the app or the page itself. I noticed more people getting involved. Definitely feels like less people now, but it might be a thing like what I've just said. I don't know, because I'm not really like noticing it at all. Right.
Are you getting more competition from other audit firms or other solo auditors?
I wouldn't say. I mean, there is good competition, but I think the amount of auditors that can do a good job is not necessarily going up. So I think it's still a scarce resource of people that are going to deliver.
Let me ask you this. What's the deal with, I've noticed the contests. Have you done any contests?
No. I mean,
why do you think all these contests, like recently I looked at, I think it was the Daily Warden, and I think Sherlock, and was it Code Arena? They had nothing coming up. And these were packed for the past, 6 months. And now it seems like there's a drop off. Are you seeing a drop off in your audit business as well, or is this just something totally separate?
Yeah, maybe just to clarify here. I mean, I don't want to be doing shilling, but Zenet is actually related to Code Arena. It was kind of incubated by a product in Code Arena. So I can also speak, for Code Arena, because I'm involved with Code Arena as well to some extent. Like not some extent, but like, yeah, plenty. So like don't want doing any shilling. So that wanted to give the disclaimer. Anyway, I think two pieces. Competitive audits were commoditized. That's piece number one. And because there are many reasons like for that to happen. That's point number one. And point number two is a lot of competitions for not so many contests, right? And there are a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes, and I don't want to call out anything or anybody, but it's a combination of actually these three, because I mentioned three things.
Mm-hmm. So you don't think the demand, apart from that, you don't think the demand for security reviews and audits is trending down at all?
I think
Just
it
maybe
might be.
there's some specific situations with contests, but as far as your business and other firms, business is still booming.
Yeah, I think so.
So no shortage of capital coming in or projects coming in without funding, because I don't think that's true. I think people are, projects are still flush with cash. They're willing to pay for audits.
I think there are like two pieces. Like how many leads there are coming, and like that kind of. Let me actually go 2 steps back. I think there are plenty of new projects. I was in Dubai. I met a lot of people. Actually, if you open DeFi Wama, you're gonna see that for March. For example, what was it? I think it was 3.5 billion. Compare that to, I don't know, December or October. If you go at the chart, I'm gonna send you the link in Telegram. You're gonna see there's plenty of funding actually.
I didn't even realize they had the metric on there. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, that's good, man. There's good demand. That's what I expect. I think this space is, no matter the sentiment, I still think the space is growing. And I mean, that's my investment thesis. And that's why I'm invested in the industry. I posted this morning about it hit me when I was looking at, so I've been sucked away for like 3 days for no reason, looking at Layer Zero and Stargate. And I was reading through Stargate's contracts and their docs. And I was looking at the volume they've done, and I'm just thinking, this is so fucking cool that we can do this. Like from where we were, I remember, we were food farming back in DeFi summer to where we're at now. And even to when, the first ERC20 came out to where we are now, it's so cool. Everything's working. Like, follow a trace on a huge transaction and just look at all the pieces of Legos coming together, and it works. And sometimes you can't find any bugs in it. Like it works flawlessly. And this was built, and it's happening now, and we're here living in it, and it's just going to get better and better. So the demand is just going to keep coming, and I think security demand is going to increase, and I think bounty hunters always going to be needed as well. I think we're very well positioned. Yeah,
and especially with it's funny because the space relies so much, by a single country, and so much on a single country and a single government. But we have a pro crypto government in the US, so I think should be moving at least for the next few years.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it decentralizes more as it grows, which I think it will.
It will. Just gonna take time.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So you obviously wanted to make a lot of money, so you didn't get into bounty hunting. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
I always tell people this: go audit if you want some consistent income. But if you want to do a Hail Mary, or you're good with really spiky income, then go bounty hunt. Otherwise, don't bother.
I think it's a more of a mental thing, right? It is very draining and requires a different type of personality that is not me.
Agreed. And likewise, I can't do the audits for very long
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
It's yeah, you couldn't swap us. We just wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. You have to enjoy what you're doing. Maybe sometimes I feel jack of all trades just because I try to entertain myself with different things, right? But then I always remind myself that if I don't do what I'm doing, I probably won't be doing anything just because I get fed up with that specific thing if it's
Mm-hmm.
only it.
Are you a high risk activity enjoyer?
Define high risk. I've been trading a lot. I probably made most of the money in my life trading. I've leveraged my entire net worth. So if that's high risk, I'm
That's
probably
pretty good. You go full stack.
yeah. I did some really great trades last year, mostly leveraged and mostly trying to catch like a fallen knife. Right, the dip is
Yep.
just going really bad, and I'm buying and selling just because I don't wanna go like too bad. But I say I've spent I think 80K on fees on one occasion just to
Funding fees.
no, just because I buy and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait for a little bit. It's probably gonna go down or up. It goes down too much. I kind of close the trade just because it might go too bad. But in the end, like when I'm like, okay, the bottom is here for now. I just open the trade and let it be. And for example, one of the trades I closed in around 25 days. So fees, as in trading fees, funding fees, but also money that I lost on the trade before I profited. Right?
So you'll leverage your full stack.
Yeah,
I notice you're a off-road vehicle enthusiast,
yeah,
which there's a danger element there.
yeah.
You're also, I'm going to say you're into fitness as well.
I am like the last year not really, no excuses. I don't want to be a bitch, but I have been in my life. Yes, correct.
Uh-huh. I'm looking for like some commonalities. How do you define an auditor or bug hunter? I don't I don't think like my mentality versus yours. There's probably some commonalities. Like I ride motorcycles. I like that.
Um,
I do some intense exercise, but nothing extremely risky. Maybe in the past, but I just enjoy bounty hunting a lot more than auditing.
have you done skydiving?
Oh yeah, I used to do that in the military.
Yeah, I've done a few times as well. I've never rode a motorcycle just because I'm probably gonna end buying and probably gonna end dying at some point. So
You
I've
know those
never
never believe those
tried.
statistics unless you suck at driving because they say all these motorcycle deaths. But that's because a bunch of people shouldn't be riding motorcycles. I've been riding for 20 years, no crashes.
That's right. I mean, it's about the thing is that I'm probably gonna get lost at like the adrenaline rush. So it's not only about me being a good driver or not, but also taking unnecessary risks, which also maybe translates to being a good driver. I don't know,
It's a
but
calculated risk. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I want to. All right, we're getting back off topic here.
yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about some stuff. I want to ask you some things here. So I went through your tweets, and I'm actually curious from an audit point of view because this applies to bug hunters as well. Because guys want to know what to start with, and which I take my time learning. Is it Rust, Solidity, Viper? And you had a tweet, and you were like, "Hey, go learn Move, Solana, Cosmos, and Cairo." And then you're also talking about the Ton blockchain, and they have their own language on there. Do you still stand by that? Are you seeing like demand in certain areas? Like you just can't find auditors for some languages. Do you think they're kind of underserved, and maybe if bounty hunters targeted those languages, they could just maybe dominate that area?
I'm not sure how they target Suwana just because they don't verify their contracts. That's the first thing. So what I'm gonna say is mostly about audits, like just a huge disclaimer. I think a lot of the move guys don't verify their contracts as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think to stand out, if somebody is to make a career as an auditor doing audits, again highlighting that in firms or independent research or whatever, there is a lot of value to be found in these ecosystems, Suwana and anything move in particular. There is not enough good people, and I think translating from solidity, for example, is extremely easy. If somebody is a good security researcher, they should translate like quite easily.
To move
Also,
and Rust as
Suwana,
well.
yeah, Rust move. I would
Mm-hmm.
probably rank it, Rust, Suwana, Move, like whatever, Sui, Aptos, and many others. Move has the thing that there are a lot of variances of Move. And then also Cosmos SDK and Golang, like Rust can also apply to Cosmwasm, which is like kind of smart contracts in Cosmos. So these ecosystems, like there's a huge amount of people that can do well, for sure. I can tell you by the amount of business we're doing.
What's the hardest auditor to get for what language?
Probably right now it's ton, but there is not so much demand for ton.
What's that
But
like security wise? I haven't looked a ton.
well, I think it's interesting because Fun C or Funk, it's kind of Lisp-ish, but I just released a new kind of language on top of it. It's it's weird. I think that's the best way to say it. It's weird, but I think Telegram, if they play their cards well, they have a lot of users, a huge user base.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, Telegram and their chain and platform and user base, if monetized well, they're gonna kick ass.
Yeah, they could be. I mean, I use Telegram all the time, and I think the team behind it, Lean and Mean, they must have had their reasons for going with their own kind of language I've never even seen before. But I agree with you. This could be a really good area to spend some time in.
Yeah, but there are not too many projects. I think at least right now.
Mm-hmm.
They just released a new language called Takt.
On Ton.
Yeah, it's user-friendly TypeScript syntax.
Interesting. Everyone with these new languages. How much demand are you getting for Cairo?
Cairo is doing well. I think StarkNet is good. Is like generally has good future.
What? Why? What's on StarkNet? Name one project.
Well, Kakarot, like it's a ZK EVM, for example.
Where can I see the stats on this? I've never even heard of this thing. I just hear these things. Like I go on Chainlist sometimes, right? And I just see all the chains. And apart from like pump and dumps, this and that, I'm like, who is using any of this? Like, is anyone using all these? Like, who the fuck? Even Unichain, right? That came out. Who's using this? Who's using Core, Chronos, BitLayer? Like, what the fuck are these, man? Is it just I'm totally out of the loop and everyone's, DeFi lending, they're doing all these things and all these chains, and I just have no idea?
I think
that's probably it. That's probably it, man.
You're touching interesting point. But what just to circle back to what you just mentioned about the price action, I think a lot of the price action is market makers doing chart painting. So I wouldn't rely on that as, indicative of usage at all. Because
or
as we all
pinging
know,
the nonce contract, increment nonce. There's all
Yeah.
your activity.
yeah,
Yeah, this is crazy, man. I mean, from an audit perspective, I bet you see some interesting projects kind of before anyone else sees them on different
Yep.
chains and stuff like that, where no one's even heard of these things. What about
If-
have you dealt with? I think it's called Rootstock, the Bitcoin one. Have you done anything with them?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, another one
haven't.
with a humble $250 million TVL. You've never heard of them, just like all these other ones.
Quarter billion.
I think this is
see.
dude. This is the state of crypto and these blockchains. Is just it's permissionless, and you can launch your own roll up, and this is so cool because this is great. I mean, it's like the singularity of blockchains. It's just going to keep expanding over and over and over, outward and outward, and we can't keep up. And we'll use AI, we use different tools to try to keep up. But as a humble security researcher, I mean, the opportunities are endless. If you ever get bummed out and think there's no bugs out here, go to DeFi Llama, go to chains, and just look. There's like, okay, it's hundreds of chains, and you could just pick something and go find a bug in it. How awesome is that?
Absolutely. And I'm not sure if like DeFi Llama is like the right, like you know better than me if the non-bug bounty projects are actually paying, like DeFi Llama heuristic. I mean, but yeah, probably going. Yeah, it's a mix because I've just seen somebody get paid a 1 million bounty from a project that doesn't have a lot of TVL. So like,
Really?
yeah, probably speaking. Yeah.
Uh-oh. You're doxing the guy. I know who it is. But it's all good.
I mean, it's public knowledge.
Yeah,
I think it's public
know.
knowledge. It's in Twitter.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
No, that's all good. You know what DeFi Llama needs? I'm going to reach out to him, is if they could add like bounties and just have all the bounties here because they're so good with data. This would be really cool to have. And even I wonder if they could add like payouts, all kinds of stats. That would be really cool. We will see.
The thing with payouts is like it's cute because not everybody is like transparent about what they pay or whatnot.
Mhm.
So
yeah, the data's not perfect. What about what would you say? Like, do you think that each auditor has a specialty, like a special area? Like this guy he's a math guy. We put him on the AMMs or something like that.
Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna answer like no filters. I think most good auditors are good in whatever you throw at them. Yes, there are exceptions like math guy, infra guy, whatever. But what I'm saying is like the infra guy, if he's a great auditor, if you throw him, in something else, he's gonna catch up on that like really quick. So I think two pieces here. I'm gonna be a specialist in XYZ is a marketing thing, so it can attract the right people. Yes, they're specialists in some things that actually have the skills, but going back to point number one, there are guys that are good at multiple things. So yes and no, I think is the right answer.
I think it's really good, the marketing thing, actually, because I saw a guy talking about, he obviously dove deep into one of these protocols. I think maybe it was layer 0, or I think it was layer 0. It was some guy who's putting all his research out there. He's like, yo, I did all this. Here's my write-up. Hey, anyone integrating OFTs or using layer 0, talk to me. I'm the man. And you're showing that you're the man And like, all right, bounty hunters, like if you want to get some side gigs doing some audits or reviews, do that, because you spend so much time looking at protocols that, could go nowhere. But at the end of the day, like you spend a week on something, like me with the Stargate Layer 0 thing. Hey man, I know how the whole system works now. Well, I didn't find anything. Actually, I found mega criticals. So I'm just going to leave those for you guys. I don't want to claim them. But all these things that are out there, like you've taken all that knowledge. So do something with it. Do a write up and share it with people. And then boom, now you're the subject matter expert on whatever the fuck it was. But other people find value in that. And then they'll reach out to you, especially if you have a low following on Twitter. Man, post that, tag me. I'll retweet you if you have a good write up. Hey, we'll hopefully get you some extra side cash so you can keep hunting.
Yeah. I think what you're touching right now is just different, applies to different people, right? If somebody wants to get employed by a security company, like full time, they should probably just do something that is gonna, make them get hired. Like many things. If they want to stay independent, want to become subject matter expert in something, they should tweet about that. But or like if they want to, do bug bounties, I think is a good thing to connect with other bug bounty hunters, so you kind of get at least a little bit of um, lifting up when you are down, because I think that's probably needed, at least initially.
Yeah.
So you get some confidence and courage. But I think something on the second one, like marketing, is very important. I believe when you market whatever, to be able to back it up with real knowledge, because you have only one shot and the space is small. So I've seen people that are marketing themselves or as like subject matter experts. I've tested them like in different means, but there's no, like in audits and like even in security, you either find bugs or you do not. And once you get to work on something, that becomes very evident.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't find that much bugs, you just be a little bit more scarce on, marketing yourself until you can actually find bugs, because people, like on these projects that you audited, they speak with each other. And like, yeah, just I think worth mentioning.
Yeah, I agree. It isn't that big of a space when you think about the backroom communications and your reputation, your brand. You could be anonymous and just have your name out there. But people talk. I think if you're good, you'll get referred. If you want work, it'll come to you. I think the you know the selecting mechanism for a lot of companies, and I'm guessing here, would have been, because it's the most public, is to look at the leaderboard for a contest. And if you see guys hitting top ranked over and over again, I would say, okay, they're going to choose those guys. Do you agree with that?
Not necessarily. Um, Depends who is selling. I think selling audits is very relationship based. What you are describing, I think, is a very small subset of customers,
Mm-hmm. Do you have
like very small.
do you have like a minimum engagement size, or say a project is just wanting a simple contract reviewed, like nothing, 100 lines of code. Would you take that on, or is there a minimum that you're going to bother with?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna take that, but let me just try to pick the best words here. We're gonna take that. We're gonna try to help any customer. The thing is whether our pricing is not competitive with what they might get from independent researchers if
Mm-hmm.
they're not going through a firm, right?
Yeah, and my comment on that is what I learned early in business is never say no to a job. don't say no. You don't have the capacity. Don't say no to it. Just price yourself out of it. So if you really don't want to do it, you have too much on your plate, just give them some higher quotes. Yeah, well, if they pay me 20 grand, I'll do it. If they say yes, well, then hell, then do it. There's always a price you're willing to do it at. But I always say price yourself out of the job. Don't decline any.
I have an interesting story to share here. It's, I think, interesting. I think I've lied to you because that actually means I got into the space around 2022, not 2023. Yeah, 2022. I've just kind of
noted
over here.
Lying to me. It's all recorded.
So December 2023, I'm going to what was it? EF DevCon in Istanbul, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was there. Yeah, Istanbul 2023. So I have accommodation, everything. I'm gonna meet with friends, etc. And I get an audit request, and there, guys, we need that ASAP. I'm sole auditor at the time, and I'm like, I don't want to really do that. And I'm like, I'm just gonna do what you just mentioned. I just try to price myself out. I'm like, okay, that's a 2-week engagement. I'm just gonna quote him like 65K. And 2 days after that, the guys are like, okay, you have another choice. We're gonna do that. I'm like, fuck my life. I mean, that's insane. Absolutely insane. So I didn't go to Istanbul. I took it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay for that amount of money.
It's such a good strategy when it works.
Yeah.
Because you can't lose either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love hearing that. Oh, hey, so I didn't prepare you. Sorry, but the last 2 episodes, I totally forgot the alpha drop because I was dealing with auditors. So I thought in my head, I was like, they don't have any alpha. Everyone's got some good alpha. So I'm bringing it back. All right. And I didn't give you any heads up. So you better have some alpha ready. So we're doing the alpha drop. Well, let me do mine and then you can scramble because I give no one a heads up on this show. So I'll drop some alpha here. So this is a good one. So it's such a simple thing. Like if you were studying solidity bugs, you already know about it, but maybe you forget about it because there's so many bugs in solidity. But I see it, simple bugs. I see this stuff still to this day. I just found another bug last week and I'm negotiating now with the project on a payout, but it was this beauty right here. When you use ABI Encode packed, you get a collision, a packed encode and collision. So yeah. If you don't know how it works, look it up. But I swear to you, this still exists in contracts that are being deployed. Old contracts, it is still out there where you can have the same hash but with different inputs. So that is my alpha drop. Bytes032. What do you got?
That necessarily has to be about bug bounty hunting. Like, just give me a second. Just give me a second.
Could be a life alpha if you like.
Maybe something that might be more relevant to what I'm doing today.
If you think it will benefit the listeners, then by all means, go ahead and share it.
Yeah, just give me a second. Apologies for holding up for so long. Maybe the best alpha that I can give is study whatever's coming next, be it hyperliquid, be it whatever there else is. There are a lot of new things coming, and if you stay on top of them and you make it like in just one, for example, even like Suwana, hyperliquid, whatever it is, position yourself as an expert in one of these new things that are actually going to stay. Maybe you're going to make a lot of money and you're going to get a lot of work. I think a lot of people are not doing that, and they are pretty much doing what they have been doing the past 2 years. And the competition on these new things is low. So position yourself as a good auditor in these.
Very good tip. Get yourself out of your comfort zone. That's me included. I should go start looking into Move or Rust or something. I admit I'm in my comfort zone, sticking with Solidity for so long, and I should definitely do that. I'm going to take it to heart. That was a great alpha drop.
Thank you. I think I've asked you before, but you're coming from a dev background with PHP, right? So how did you translate into Solidity? It might
Well,
be
I
something.
also did a lot of JavaScript,
Oh, okay.
which is such an easy carryover to Solidity.
Oh, I see. Yeah, absolutely.
But you know what it is, man? You know this because you have the same kind of mindset. But I think, and tell me if it's not true, I think you can learn anything you want if you have the aptitude for it. You know, if you have a reasonable intellect, you just put your mind to it and you just stare at it honestly and just keep rehearsing things, and then magically it'll just start making sense. And I read this paper on like how that works in your brain with these you have these myelin sheaths and they get thicker and thicker each time you do some repetitive learning, and eventually that connection becomes stronger and stronger and you're able to connect the dots faster and things make sense. But initially it's like you go run a marathon, the first mile you want to quit. Same thing with looking at a new language. Everything's brand new and you just want to throw up your hands. Oh, I'll go back to what I know. This is too complex. But I think you stick it out and things pay off and you'll eventually get it. And then if you keep at it, you'll become a pro at it.
Yeah. Maybe the only thing that I'm going to add is keep sticking at it regardless of like it's good or bad currently. Because when you start something, it's going to always be fun, always going to be, very enjoyable. But then when the down comes and you like the ups and downs, I mean, that's what I mean by down. You're probably going to struggle a little bit, but if you go through that, the reward is right there. At least that's how I feel or how I felt about it and how it happened with me so far. So, yeah.
And you brought up Hyperliquid. So I'm doing something on Hyperliquid right now. What's your thoughts on like Barachain, Hyperliquid, these kind of alts? Do you call them alt L1s? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to phrase them.
What do you think about this? With yeah, honestly, I haven't looked at like the economic security behind it. I don't know. I haven't even looked in depth. Do you know what the security model is? Is this because why are people putting so much money over there? Do they not care about the decentralization of Ethereum? Like, what do you think is the driving force other than greed?
Man, I have so many things to say here that I shouldn't be saying in public. So I'm gonna start with that. But Hyperliquid is like really cool. Like assets can be sent between Hypercore and Hyper EVM. It's a very, I think, refreshing thing to see. They have really interesting precompose. At least I'm personally, as a DGen that also trades, I'm excited about Hyperliquid just because, it involves a lot of people, obviously bad people as well, just to trade and do whatever, just trade like without KYC whatsoever. So I hope like Hyperliquid goes so mainstream that kind of even replaces some of the centralized exchanges. But it's really cool.
But I
You
mean,
should check it out.
well, so all right. Well, I guess I do know something about their security model. I found because I reported a bug to them in their deposit contract back in the day. So they have the validator set, but is that it? Just the validators that they run?
Yeah.
That's it. And they have what's their TVL? Any idea? It's probably pretty big. Like a
Oh,
bill?
I'm not sure if the TVL here is like the meaningful metric, like exactly, because there's a lot of trading going on there. So it's also the revenue they're making, right? But yeah, I think they're cooking. They should be cooking long term, and the community is like very, very, very likable.
Yeah, like because this started, if I can remember, with DYDX, where you'd be able to kind of use this. I don't know what you called it, but you would just sign once, and then I don't know how it worked, honestly, outside the contracts, but it was very fast, and it was a similar to sex like experience when you trade.
Oh, you got me chuckling over here. It is
just like
it is.
Sex, yes.
Yeah,
but I mean that's what kicked it off. I remember the DYDX airdrop. If you didn't get that, you're missing out.
I didn't.
But and I don't even know, is DYDX still around? I mean, Dolomite copied them, and they're going strong on Barachain and multiple chain. But then Hyperliquid comes out, and they say we're an Alt L1. We're going to have some validators run this. Trust us. And they came out with this great kind of I don't know what's it, egalitarian kind of airdrop with hype and everything. Everyone loved that, so it got them a lot of marketing. But how's it different than? I wonder if it's less secure than DYDX was. What do you think?
In first place, I don't know how secure was DYDX. So that's point number one.
I have no idea.
Yeah, so I can't objectively answer.
But usability, it seems like all the same features are there. Maybe they have some more stuff with Hyperliquid.
No. Like, you should just read more about the hypercore and hyper EVM split. Mm-hmm. So it's what they like to say dual block architecture. So there's like a separate mempool, etc. It's I think really cool thing to at least refreshing for me to observe.
I'll have to dive in. Yeah, like what you said, it's such great info, man. It's just stay on top of this new stuff that's coming out. That honestly, it's had a lot of hype and a lot of press and CT, but the attention span is non-existent. So people probably forget about it already. Yeah, lock onto these new projects, and especially if the guys are cracked and they're developing something big in the background. Hey, maybe this is maybe there's a lot to it. Yeah, something definitely to check out.
Maybe a huge disclaimer here, that might work for me because that's how my brain works. I like to entertain myself like with new stuff. For other people, it's like stick to one thing and just get really good at it. So you're like the best in the world when it comes to that. So just wanted to say there are like many ways to skin a cat that might not necessarily be the right thing for somebody whose brain works differently. It's not a silver bullet.
True. To each their own. I agree. Cool. Mr. Bytes, you got anything else, man, or should we wrap it up? We're at an hour here.
I think we can wrap it up unless there's I think we've done a good conversation over here.
I agree, man. Well, cool. Well, let's I want to plug some stuff. So if you want to talk to other bounty hunters, you're feeling low, you haven't found shit, come to the Discord. You can go to linktree/bountyhunters. Check the Substack. I give you some low, medium bugs for free, and I'm trying to get somebody else to get their eyes on them to amplify those into something else. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. And lastly, if you're a protocol that you want to put a bounty out there on ImmuneFi, just mention my name, mention Riptide, and they'll kick back some funds to the show to help support the show. So after that, thank you, Mr. bytes032. We will see you on the blockchain.
See you.